What's up, Madridistas? Kian Sobani here. It is March 10th, and I wanted to set up this podcast for you guys. And I know what you're thinking because the title of this podcast is Luka Modric a top 10 Real Madrid player of all time? And you're thinking to yourself, what the hell are you talking about? Of course he is. Why is this even a question? Why are you wasting time talking about something so obvious? But there's some context to this. The context is that Lucas and I, we record a mailbag every week for our members. And one of the podcast questions that came in, this was actually almost 2 weeks ago now. This clip is actually old. So if you're a member, you've already listened to this or watched this. But if you're not a member, I just clipped it so you guys can get a taste of what we talked about with regards to this question specifically. And someone submitted this question. And the person who submitted this question is a very dear friend of ours. It's Kay Murray of ESPN FC. And if you guys watch ESPN FC, you know they do that thing where they have extra time, where Kay will take questions on Twitter and then pose the questions to the crew on ESPN FC. So the panel for this show was Frank LeBeouf, Steve Nichols, and Craig Burley. And Kay asked the question to the crew. And the answers were surprising. Pretty much no one said he was top 10 except for Kay. And then so Kay submitted the question to us on Patreon. And Lucas and I answered the question. And that's the context of this episode. That's the context of the title. It's Lucas and I reacting to Kay's question, basically. So tune in. It was a fun conversation we had. And if you want access to this and a ton more, go to patreon.com/managingmadrid. Speaking of which, if you want to know what's going on with members the last few days, today, on March 10th, Atletico Madrid preview, only for members. Wednesday, Wednesday, March 12th, Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid, post-game podcast, biggest game of the season until now. That's only for members. So on Wednesday night when you're scrambling like, hey, where's the post-game show? Why aren't these guys live on YouTube? We are live, but behind a secret link, and it's only for members. So just do yourself a favor ahead of time and don't scramble Wednesday night. Go to patreon.com/managingmadrid right now. Right now. You're going to forget. Right now, literally type in patreon.com/managingmadrid. Sign up. You get the link ahead of time so that you're ready to go and joining us after the game on Wednesday night. If you're on YouTube and you don't have Patreon in your country, you can simply hit join on the memberships tab on this YouTube channel. It's usually linked in the show notes. It's usually linked in the comments. You can also hit join underneath this video. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the conversation, and let's get to it. Next question is from our good friend Kay Murray, who says, please continue the debate we had on FC Extra Time. We were asked if Modric is all-time top 10 Real Madrid player. I think yes.
I completely agree. Hello, Kay. Thanks for following and thanks for supporting the show. I was telling Kian off air that I heard it the other day on the radio. Somebody was saying that Modric should be considered as a top 25 player in the history of Real Madrid, and I was telling my girlfriend, top 25, like an honest and serious conversation would be if somebody would mention top 5. So to me, top 10, no question. Top 5 will be close. Top 5 will be really, really close, but top 10 is no question in my opinion. No real question.
So Kay messaged me about this a few days ago, and she said, is Modric a top 10 player of all time? Because we had a debate about it on Extra
in
Time.
Club history.
Like in Real Madrid history. Yes, Real Madrid history. And to me, it was like no-brainer. I didn't think twice about it.
No question, yeah.
He's like, you have Cristiano and Di Stefano top 2, and then you have a table which contains Gento and Puskás and Modric and Raúl and Ramos and Casillas and Benzema. And I was just... Sure, put Cruz in there. But Modric top 10, no question. And I was kind of shocked when she sent me the video clip on YouTube because the debate is on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And I just expected everyone to just agree unanimously. Keep in mind, this was right after Modric had scored that golazo against Girona. And Kay did her job. She moderated that panel and made the case for Modric top 10. So Kay did her part. The rest of the panel, which was Frank LaBeouf, Stevie Nichols, and Craig Burley, lots of love to you guys, but they just they zagged. They went the opposite route on this. They brought up recency bias and said this is recency bias. They named a bunch of players, including Craig Burley. You mentioned Luis Figo. Come on, bro. Luis Figo. Luis Figo, top 10 Real Madrid player of all time. That's the conversation they were having. They mentioned his name. And then LeBeouf mentioned Raymond Copa, and like people don't know like how great Raymond Copa was. Raymond Copa was a great player, Ballon d'Or player. He was at Real Madrid for how many seasons? Was it like 2?
No idea.
Couple seasons? Certainly not a decade counting. So when we're talking about Real Madrid legacy and what they've achieved, Copa was at Real Madrid for 3 years. What they have achieved in this club, there's no recency bias. So you're telling me like in 50 years from now, you'll like acknowledge Modric as a top 10 player? Come on, guys. Kay, proud of you for holding down the fort and making the case. But the rest of the panel was way off on it.
Look, you've mentioned a lot of names. Modric is a better Real Madrid player than Raúl, Casillas. All these guys, I feel.
I think they're at the, I think that I'm not going to disagree. I think they're kind of at the table together.
Fine, I'm willing to take it even further. I'm willing to say he's a better Real Madrid player. He's a better player in the history of the club than Raúl, Casillas, Ramos, and other guys you mentioned.
That he could be third. There's a case.
I mean, he's third. Yeah, well, there's a case for him. Yeah,
there's a case. I'm not saying it's definitive, but he's top 10 is a no-brainer.
No-brainer. Yeah. In top 5, I lean towards being 80-20. Towards him being top 5 as well. Like, there's an argument to be made about maybe other names being ahead of him, but like Gento, for example, being ahead of him, but yeah, to me, top 10 is no question, and there's an argument for him that he's top 5 as well. Yeah.
Let me just mention something about Raúl, because I think while Raúl is at that table, I don't think he reached Puskás, and I think Benzema surpassed Raúl as well.
Benzema surpassed Raúl, no question.
Yeah.
And this comes from one of the biggest Raúl supporters there are in the Real Madrid media sphere, if you will. Benzema surpassed Raúl. Yeah.
So that being said, you have basically third is a combination of like, and this is why I've started to like classify it as tiers, because we could have endless debates about which player was better than who. But the top 2 tiers, Ronaldo and Di Stefano, and then you have, Modric, Benzema, Puskás, Gento. These guys are all.
Can I say Kroos belongs there too in that tier? Like, every time you mention names in that tier, you forget Kroos, and maybe for a reason, because you don't think he belongs there.
I don't forget him. I don't think he was. I think Modric was better than Kroos. He also has a bit more longevity at the club than Kroos did. But
1 year, right? Well, 1 year, and there's he signed for Madrid. Oh no, 2 years. 2 years ahead of Kroos, and then this year as well. Yeah, so yeah, 3 years. He's been a Real Madrid player for 3 years longer than Kroos. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, this is a very difficult stretch upcoming without Ceballos. If Modric has an insane heroic epic run now at the age of 39 to carry the team to the Champions League, we gotta have serious okay, this guy's third.
Yeah, why not? I mean, who's third? I mean, whoever is third in everyone's minds is not as established as Kroos and not Kroos, sorry, Cristiano and Di Stefano. There's an open conversation to be had about third. So yeah, whoever the third is in everyone's list, I think that's up for debate and up for the grabs, really. So yeah, Modric definitely could have a case of being third if he manages to put together a very good run of games.
But top 10, Lucas, I don't know. Luis Figo.
Top 25 said that radio
Well, that
guy the
that
other
guy
day.
that guy should just be put in jail. Who was it? We should
It was I think they were reading text messages from regular fans, so regular Real Madrid fans.
whoever
Yeah.
that guy was should be in handcuffs like by tomorrow. That's that's criminal offense. Is he top 25 is crazy, crazy work.